Okay. All right. So, welcome everyone to the Room to Breathe session with Project Welcome Home Troops and sponsored by American Military University. We're really happy to be here with everyone and want to give you just today a little bit of a overview of the program, but mostly focusing on the experiential side so you can get a taste of what the program is all about. So, I'm going to share my screen quickly and so for Project Welcome Home Troops, we've been around since 2005. We're a nonprofit organization serving veterans, military, and their immediate families around the United States and also internationally. And really, we're seeing a gap in services for some veterans. Maybe there's a whole bunch of varieties of ways to help with chronic stress and post-traumatic stress and just dealing with day-to-day life, right? Maybe a readjustment. So our program is kind of filling that gap of not quite, counseling or cognitive processing therapy, and also, maybe for veterans who are not wanting to necessarily use medications, that this is a really nice technique using the power of your own breath to help manage the mind and emotions. So we'll dive into that today and take a look at what this looks like. So I'll do a little bit of an overview of the program. So for today, we'll kind of go into the science of the breath and how it can help us regulate the mind and emotions. And also look a little bit at the tendency of their mind so that, sometimes we think we're unique and alone in our tendencies of the mind, but they're actually a very human experience, that a lot of us have very similar tendencies in our mind. And then experience some practical breath-based tools to help optimize our performance in daily life. So just a little bit about our training. The Sky Resilience training occurs over 5 consecutive days for 2.5 to 3 hours per day. And we have variable schedules, so it can help. We have daytime and evening and weekend schedules, and I think we're working specifically to host a special course for students and faculty and staff of AMU. So we're looking forward to that. Um, we take a multimodal approach to the whole person, right? So we're working using breath work, yoga, guided meditation, self-reflection questions, emotional intelligence, and small group processes that really begin to help us at the mind, the emotional level, the physical level, to bring everything more into harmony, to feel more like ourselves again when we're not in the midst of chronic stress. So our mission is to improve the quality of life for veterans and their families, and as well as military. So our program, we teach the breath-based tools, that decrease stress, anxiety, depression, improve sleep quality. We see some tremendous improvements in sleep for veterans who are getting just a couple hours a night or have very erratic sleep patterns. This helps to normalize sleep patterns for deeper and longer quality of rest. And I always say the whole world looks a lot different when after a good night's sleep. Restores well-being, mental focus, and clarity. So for students, if you're studying and kind of looking at that same paragraph, reading it over and over again, this helps us to actually integrate and remember what we're reading, so that focus and clarity is there. Renewed sense of connection and purpose, to family, to community, to ourselves, right? Reduction in symptoms of post-traumatic stress, and improvement in energy and just overall well-being. So just kind of feeling overall better about life, more hopeful about the future. Just want to share a quick video. This is veterans sharing their experiences.
I had fallen into a well, and you're looking up, and the light at the top is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as you slide further down the well. Finally, it felt like someone reached in the hole and grabbed me and helped me out of the hole, out into the light where life goes on.
These last couple of weeks, they've been rough because of the coronavirus. I kind of had to stay home and just deal with those emotions. Before, I wasn't able to do that in a healthy manner. And now I engage it. I deal with it in a healthy way.
Powered breath it changed me. Once you have that in your system, you can tap into it like that. It's like a superpower. You can access it at will. It's voluntary. It's all within yourself. Every Marine should know this.
Project Welcome Home Troops helped me thrive. Helped me thrive as a counselor, helped me thrive as a person, right? In my relationships and my ability to get back to life.
Let me stop the share. I want to invite Summer. She's one of our program graduates and on her way to becoming a teacher of the program. So I just want to have Summer share a little bit about your experience with the Sky Resilience training and what benefits that you received from it.
Sure. So just a little bit of background. I'm an Army veteran. I was a counterintelligence agent. I spent time in Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom in 2005. We were expeditionary forces on the front lines beside Pakistan. And then I was in Iraq in 2008 to 2009. I worked at a detention facility then, interrogating our detainees. And then 2011 to 2012, I went back to Afghanistan and I worked as a team lead for a human intelligence collection team. And so again, working with our frontline people. So I was a contractor in the last one though. So I had all intents and purposes of joining the intelligence community after my time in the Army, and everything changed after I did my tour as a contractor. I said, nope, that is not the path for me. So since that, so when you're in the military and in that environment, everything is just kind of like suppressed and shut down. And what I used to call it was subcompartmentalization. I would take everything, put it in a nice, neat little box and store it away for later whenever I had to deal with it. And I never dealt with them. So they were just kind of in these safety deposit boxes, if you will, in a huge wall somewhere in my brain. And I went through 17 years of traditional VA therapy protocols, CBT, CPT, traditional psychotherapy, all that kind of fun stuff. So I hadn't made it through to EMDR. There was a stuck point with getting community care consult figured out for that. And while I was waiting for the EMDR, I had my hairdresser, who is also a friend of mine, send me a text and say, hey, I have a friend who said, if you're a veteran, why not check out this breathwork program? And I was like, okay. And then I kind of looked at it more and they're like, I was like the veteran in the community that referred everybody to everywhere. Like I knew everybody in the veteran community here in Pittsburgh. That's where I'm located. I worked in the veteran nonprofit sector for quite a while and just found my place in volunteering and just kind of trying to lift other veterans up. And while the one veteran eloquently stated, you're in a well, and we were all kind of in our own little wells, but all trying to like talk to each other through the well system, right? So letting everybody know we're not alone. But in that stuck point and my friend saying like, let's do, why don't you do this thing? I was like, you know what? Nothing else has worked. Why not? I'll give it a try. And if I'm going to refer people to it, I should know what it's about. So I contacted Leslie here, and she was my instructor, and she turned into mentor and friend, and now my boss. So, but when I started Sky, I had this huge emotional release, and I wasn't expecting it. I had a lot of physiological symptoms that were uncomfortable in the moment. I'm prone to vertigo and migraines, and I had an overwhelming sense of nausea, like, okay, and the head starts spinning and starting to get a headache, and I'm getting cold sweats, and I'm like, what is going on? But I just kept sticking with the breathing, and I allowed myself to cry because I kind of like moved myself off of camera while I was crying. And I felt so much release that first day that I started doing the breath work. And that wasn't even like the actual Kriya, like it was just some of the breathing exercises. And then the next day we learned more. And the third day, like we're doing the actual Sudarshan Kriya, the sky resilience training. And again, there was a lot of emotions, but it wasn't like the crazy physiological symptoms weren't as bad. And by the end of the course, I couldn't believe that I felt the way that I did. Like I felt so much better. I felt a peace, just like calm that I hadn't felt in forever. Like I had trauma as a kid and everything else, and then trauma in the military. And so I was just thinking, like, I'm never going to have that again. And when I had that again, it was like this overwhelming, holy crap, like I actually am allowed to feel good. And like, and then you kind of like go through the cycle in your head of like, am I allowed to feel good? Like, is it okay? Because like you start beating yourself up over all the things you didn't do right, or you question yourself, and you're holding on to guilt and pain and trauma, and you don't know if you're deserving. And so like once I got past that and worked with Leslie through that as well, like I started to just be able to like go back to the breath anytime I was having any emotional trigger occur. And things would just like come up while I'm with my kids. I'm a mom of 3 and I'm on my 3rd husband. So I was like, something has to change. And it was me that needed to change. And ever since then, like my relationships have been far superior. My relationship with my children has been amazing. And just being able to regulate my emotions and talk through difficult things. And sure, I still get angry, but like that anger is a blip, and it like comes up and it's like, okay, it's fine. Don't take it personally. Like whatever is occurring, don't take it personally. Just breathe and then work through the issue, whatever it is. And I used to have such a short fuse, and I just lived life very irritably. So this has been a literal gift to me. So I look forward to sharing it. And that's why I'm here. And that's why you guys will all love it and tell other people about it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Summer. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Summer's just one of thousands of veterans who've been through the program and experienced these benefits. Let me go back to my screen for a brief moment. Um, let's see, I think, and oops. There you go. Just wanted to quickly review the most recent research. There was an independent study done by the Palo Alto VA Medical Center with our program, the Sky Resilience Training and Cognitive Processing Therapy, which Summer mentioned she's gone through. And CPT is the VA's gold standard for PTSD treatment. So what they found, this is a 4-year study, and what they found was that the sky breath meditation was just as effective in therapy as treating PTSD as CPT was, and similarly for treating depression. And only Sky had this variable of the heart rate variability, which is a measure of PTSD showing an improvement in heart rate variability. Um, so for veterans, as I said earlier, for veterans who are not wanting to take like medication that they'd like to manage their own mind and emotions, this is a beautiful option for that, or for those wanting to get off of medication, working with their doctors, this can be very supportive. And then we'll kind of announce dates. I think Carolyn, you and I will work on that as we move ahead, but finding a AMU sponsored course, Sky Resilience training for veterans, so for their student body and faculty. So I will, and I'm going to share in the chat. This is a little link to an interest form, so just so we can keep track of folks who are interested in participating in that workshop, and we'll let you know when those dates come up. But I'd love to switch now into the experiential portion and get you all some nice relaxation for the end of your day. So one of the things I talked about, we were looking into the nature of the mind and how our mind works, right? So our mind has this tendency to vacillate, right? To go back and forth from the past to the future, right? And so when the mind is going back to the past, oftentimes there are the emotions or feelings associated with our sorrow, regret, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? The mind is more stewing in those juices of those kinds of sentiments. And then when it goes to the future, what's there? Maybe some anxiety, fear of the unknown, apprehension. There could be good things as well, but generally the mind's tendency is like, oh no, what's going to happen, right? And our mind is perpetually going back and forth. There was a Harvard study, and very rarely are we pausing here in the present moment. Our mind is just kind of back and forth. And a Harvard study was showing that on average, the average person, 25% of the time, our mind is in the past, 25% in the future, and 50% in the present moment. And I would argue that 50%, that seems very generous. So, but it takes it takes a toll on us. It takes a lot of energy when our mind is back and forth like that, quite a bit. So the tools that we're teaching help us to bring us more and more into the present moment and into that space when we are present and aware. We're able to be responsive rather than reactive, right? So when we're stressed, when we're not aware, that's when accidents happen. That's when the reactive mind comes in. And so when the stress is down and we're present and aware, we make better decisions. We're more in that responsive space of mind. And the mind also has a tendency to cling to the negative, right? So if I pick on Summer and I'll say, hey, Summer, she's just amazing. She's an amazing human being, mother, friend, service minded. She's an amazing baker. I saw her baking pies one day, and just always ready to give and be of service, and so generous of her with her time but Summer, like that blue t-shirt, I'm like, what? Why are you wearing that tonight? Right? So what's happening to Summer's mind? Does she remember the 9 compliments? No. Her mind's like, oh man, like how dare she talk about my t-shirt, or should I change my t-shirt, right? So this is the nature of the mind, is that it clings to the negative. So this translates into how we move through life. So maybe 90% of our life is fine, 10% we have some challenges, and our tendency is to make that 10% the 90% and the 90%. We don't see the goodness, we only see the challenges. So just to have that awareness, and that's why marketing and media are so talented at getting our mind to hook into all the negative things, right? So because they know how the human mind works, right? So I'm sharing these things because the mind, the more present our mind is, the less sticky it becomes to the negative. We start to see. I remember when I first learned these practices, I was a bona fide rageaholic, and and I couldn't see anything good in people and nature. I'd walk by a beautiful garden, it was just like, oh gosh, someone needs to weed this, instead of saying, wow, what beautiful flowers, right? So the mind can shift when we're in a more rested, centered, present state of mind, where we perceive the same world in a very different way. The world hasn't changed, but our own inner world has changed in how we see it, right? So a little bit about the breath. One of the things that's most interesting about the breath is that for every emotion we experience, there's a corresponding rhythm of the breath. Have you noticed that? So if we're breathing angry, maybe our breath is short, shallow, sharp, focused here, right? Maybe if we're sad or depressed, emphasis on the exhale. Happy, excited, emphasis on the inhale, right? So when we have awareness, where the mind is, we can have some say over what's happening in the mind, right? We can change the quality of the mind through our breath. So if we're angry, like we teach a breathing technique on the course called straw breath that helps to reduce anger quickly. So as Summer was sharing, it's like we have these pocket tools. I don't call them for the toolkit because that gets put on the garage shelf, but your pocket tools are right with you, right? So you have these different tools to help manage the state of the mind, the quality of the mind at any moment. And the breath becomes that link between the mind and the body, right? So it's kind of like that like controlling a kite. If I have the mind is the kite, the breath is that link. So if the body, if I have some, say it's a very windy day here in Boise, so they'll probably lose my kite no matter what happened. But we have some say over where the kite's going, right? But if that thread breaks, who knows? The kite's in a power line or somewhere, right? We don't have much say over where it's going. So the breath is that integral link, that bridge between the body and the mind to help us manage both, right? So I want to say about the breath, but it's the breath has its kind of, I always think of the breath as having its own, almost its own identity, its own life force that it carries with it. I've had vets say on courses, like they started like, yeah, I didn't never thought about my breath, because we don't think about our breath much, right? We take it for granted unless we're, sick or we're exerting ourselves. We take it for granted. So this workshop really, I think of it as kind of giving the user manual to your body that you've never gotten before, right? So um, let's just do a little bit of bring some relief to our body, and then we'll get into some breath work. So do some very just gentle, whatever feels healthy and good for your body today, but just to do some gentle shoulder rolls, breathing in as the shoulders come up, exhaling as the shoulders go back and around. Seeing if you can match the rhythm of the breath with the motion of the shoulders. And the shoulders come down, we'll bring them back up and forward and around. And relax. Do some gentle neck rolls. So if there's any injury to the neck, you can take care. You can just make small circles with the nose, or if it's okay, you can take a little deeper stretch. So we'll take a full breath in through the nose. As you breathe out, let the chin come towards the chest. And we'll begin to inhale clockwise, rotating the head around the shoulders. Nice, slow circles, taking your time. Again, matching the rhythm of the breath with the motion of the head. So exhaling as the chin comes towards the chest, inhaling as it comes back and around. If you find a tender spot in the neck, you can even pause and just imagine that you're breathing into that space. And as the chin comes towards the chest, we'll rotate, balance ourselves out, rotating in the opposite direction, going counterclockwise. And once again, as the chin comes towards the chest, just let the head float back up to the center. And we'll do one gentle stretch to, we have a vagus nerve, or the Latin it means wandering nerve. It's nerve bundles on either side of our neck that go down through all of our vital organs, and it manages the rest and digest side of our portion of our body. So when we can stimulate this, if we're feeling a little bit out of our center, a little bit of a dysregulated nervous system, this is one thing you can do to help yourself in the moment. So let's take a full breath in. What we're going to do is just breathe in through the nose, and we're going to gently turn to look over the right shoulder as we exhale, coming to the edge of your stretch. Whatever feels right for your body today, and just take a few nice long breaths through the nose here. You can even add your eyes into the stretch, looking over the shoulder. And just observe the body. You might yawn or feel a swallow or some gentle release in the body. And take a full breath in. And we'll gently rotate to look over the left shoulder. So just coming to the edge of your stretch, whatever feels healthy. You can add the eyes to look over the shoulder and continuing here. Nice long breaths through the nose. Again, observing if there's any relaxation that happens, a yawn, some relaxation in the muscles. Sometimes we need to hold a little bit longer. And gently release, slowly turning the head to becoming back to center. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. Do you notice any slight change? A little relaxation in the body. Yeah. So some simple movement can help bring some release in the body, help to begin to settle the mind. So the first breathing technique I'd like to teach you is called alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing, we're doing some bilateral stimulation in the brain. This is a great one for students. It increases mental focus and clarity. So if the mind's feeling a little fuzzy or unfocused, this is a really great technique to help with study, to help center the mind. Also has a benefit and effect, also can bring up some emotions or memories from the past. So that's the breath also doing its work. So not to be surprised, and if you experience that, just sit with it as best you can, just observing. There's no need to judge or analyze. So let's bring our hands. So our hands are going to be, if you can make the the Star Trek live long and prosper. So these fingers here go on the forehead. So here's our pituitary gland, point of awareness on the forehead. So we can have those fingers there. Our right thumb is going to be used to close the right nostril, and then our ring finger to close the left. If it's not comfortable to put the fingers on the forehead, you can fold those in and use the thumb and forefinger to alternate back and forth. And if anyone has a deviated septum or blocked nostril, everyone's okay. All right. So we can bring our hand, whichever position, either the fingers on the forehead or folded in. This is the traditional one. It helps to bring that awareness and focus. So I'm just going to guide you for a few minutes. We'll be alternating back and forth, using us, allowing the breath to kind of lengthen and soften as we go. So it's a soft breath. So let's close the eyes or gaze towards the lap, bringing our attention inward. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out both nostrils. Breathe in again. Close the right nostril. Breathe out the left. Breathe in on the left. Close the left. Breathe out on the right. Breathe in on the right. Close the right. Breathe out on the left. In on the left. Close the left. Breathe out on the right. In on the right. Close the right. Breathe out on the left. In on the left. Close the left. Out on the right. In on the right. Close the right. Out on the left. In on the left. Close the left. Out on the right. In on the right. Close the right. Out on the left. In on the left. Close the left, out on the right. In on the right, close the right, out on the left. In on the left, close the left, out on the right. In on the right, close the right, out on the left. In on the left, close the left, out on the right. In on the right, close the right, out on the left. Continue on your own rhythm for just a minute or so. All awareness on the breath. Traveling with the breath as it moves in and out of the nostrils. Any emotions or memories arising, just observe them like a cloud moving through the sky. We'll make this the last round, completing with an exhale through the left nostril. You can continue with the eyes closed or gazing down, relaxing the hand to the lap, and just observing the effects of that breath. And may gently open the eyes. How was that?
It was really relaxing.
Good.
Mhm.
Very good. Good. So, teach you one more technique called the straw breath. And this is a favorite of a lot of our students. And this one has two benefits. One is that it helps to, if we're feeling angry or frustrated, it can help cool the mind down quickly. Or if we have elevated blood pressure, it can help to regulate blood pressure. Had a lot of vets on the course who were good skeptics and said, I don't know about this straw breath. And they'd happen to have a VA appointment during the course and would have the nurse do a pre and post straw breath BP test. And they reported back to me. I've never tried it myself, but on average that it drops 15 to 20 points. So it's a really nice tool. I have maybe Summer uses it I have a lot of vets saying when their kids are out of hand, a few straw breaths really helps out. So it's a very simple technique. So I'll teach this one right now. So we're going to take a full breath in through the nose. And then what we'll be doing is pursing our lips like we're exhaling through a straw. So it's a long, slow breath out, kind of if you've ever held a balloon and kind of let the air seep out. Think about it like that. We'll be doing 5 of these, so I'll guide you through. And so again, we can close the eyes or gaze down, keeping our attention in. Take a full transitional breath in through the nose and breathe out, just normal breath out. Again, full breath in through the nose. Purse the lips, breathing out the straw, lengthening the exhalation. Again, take a deep breath in through the nose. Pursing the lips, breathing out the straw. Long, slow exhalation. Again, breathing in through the nose. Pursing the lips, breathing out the straw. Last one, we'll breathe in once more through the nose. Pursing the lips, breathing out through the straw. And relaxing, observing the effects of that breath. You may gently open the eyes. So you may not notice the effect so profoundly if you're not angry or experiencing elevated blood pressure, but this particular breath, we do no more than 5 in one sitting. If we have naturally low blood pressure, you can do 2 or 3. You can use it multiple times in the day if there's life keeps showing up and giving you moments for that. But 5 is plenty, not more than 5. That might begin to be too much. Did you have a question, Gabrielle?
Now, as far as the breathing goes, is there a count that goes with it, or we just breathe out slowly, no count?
You're just breathing out slowly, so whatever works for your lung capacity and feels comfortable, but just a normal than a long, longer than we would normally exhale. So, and we're refining that through the straw, but there is no count. Some of the techniques have counts, but this one particular one does not. Good evening, SL. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, just so you're aware that the session is being recorded, so I wanted you to have that awareness. Um, and we'll go into right now, I'll take you through a guided relaxation. Um, how many of you have experienced a guided meditation before of some kind?
I have.
Oh, all of you. Excellent. So I'll just take you through this meditation, and it's effortless in the sense of all you need to do is just lightly follow instructions that I'm giving them. And so if I say become aware of your right foot, you don't need to think, am I wearing green socks or black socks or just like there, you know that there's a foot there, right? So just a light awareness, right? And again, if the mind becomes busy, it's okay. If you fall asleep, it's okay. I'm a master at putting people to sleep. Um, if you, feel like you've gone somewhere else, that's okay as well. So whatever's happening, if thoughts are coming up, like again, just observe them like a cloud moving through the sky. No need to engage or um, think too much about them, right? So So let's sit comfortably with our spine nice and supported. Your palms can be resting up, back of the hands on the lap with the palms up. I invite you to close your eyes or gaze down at your lap, whichever is most comfortable. And take a deep breath in and let go. Take another deep breath in. Hold the breath. Observe any tension in the body. As you breathe out, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, allowing the hands to be heavy on the lap. Bring your awareness to any sounds in your environment. Maybe traffic, voices in the other room, air system, whatever you hear. At peace with those sounds in the environment, right at this moment. Breathe in and let go. And bring the awareness to the physical body. The body is a gift from nature. Honor and care for the body very dearly. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Bring light awareness to the feet. Awareness to the calves and knees. Thighs and hips. Pelvic region. Bring the awareness to the abdomen and stomach. Take a deep breath in and let go. Bring the awareness to the chest. Awareness on the hands, the arms and shoulders. Throat. In between the eyes. Top of the head. The whole body. Let your awareness run like a river through the whole body. Breathe in and let go. Bring the awareness to the thoughts. Whether good thoughts or bad thoughts. Just let them be. Breathe in and let go. And bring the awareness to the feelings, if any. Whether pleasant or unpleasant. Just let them be. Breathe in and let go, relaxing more and more. Deep within is a place where peace and joy reside, untouched by the outer world. Once again, become aware of the feelings. Become aware of the thoughts. Again, becoming aware of the physical body and the chair in which you're sitting. Awareness of the space, the room that you're in. Hearing the sounds in the environment. And slowly and gradually taking your time. And bring some gentle movement to the body, beginning to open the eyes. How was your meditation? Okay? Good. Yeah, we had our eyes closed for maybe 15 minutes. So the mind gets your experience might have been different flavors, but when there's a deeper meditation brings a deeper rest than sleep, the mind might feel a little bit more expansive. Yeah. If thoughts were your experience also, okay, that means the body's purifying something out, so all things are good. So that's a little appetizer taste of the full 5 day sky, 5 session really. It's 2.5 to 3 hours a day sky resilience training. And as I will, I'm sharing a link here if you're interested in, we'll be determining the dates, but AMU will be sponsoring one of our 5 day workshops. So if you're interested, you can just put your name on the form and we'll contact you when dates are set. Same for Gabrielle. Any questions, any wonders? You guys doing okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you for this,
You're welcome.
giving us a
Thank you.
preview.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. So I'll send this link in the email and the recording. So if you like to see the beginning of the session, that will be there, and I'll share it with all the other participants who also weren't able to make it tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
For being here, and I hope to see you on our workshop. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.